been writing a book since January of 2016, and it is July of 2018, and it's called Again But Better, and I just handed in my last round of, like, big edits. It was called Draft 9. It's probably technically, like, Draft 50 billion, but since I finished on time, I'm gonna reward myself by wearing Princess Elsa's crown. I handed in my draft on time. Yeah, I did. I did. So, unlike last time I handed in a draft, I am dressed. I am in clothes. Last time I went to bed at 4, and this time I went to bed at 5 a.m. This was a tough draft for me because I kept hitting these mental blocks like, this is the last time. It's not the last time. There'll be like copy edits and like, I don't know what line, I don't know what edits there are because I have never done it before, but it's just not big edit. It's gone. I handed it in at 4:30 in the morning. And then I took a shower and tried to go to sleep and I couldn't. And I set my alarm for 10:30 so I'd get like at least 6 hours of sleep or 5 hours. I don't know math right now. And I woke up at 9. In this draft, this is the first time I've been using track changes. Track changes. A lot of people use it for like work and stuff. If you write anything and you have an editor or someone editing your stuff, they use track changes sometimes. My editor used track changes for me, like to see my edits last round, but I didn't edit in that doc. I made my own new one because I had like big changes I wanted to make. I didn't want all those like little stupid red arrows around. So I would just like copy and paste the paragraph and then like go check the edits and then make them on my new page. And I've come to the conclusion that I'm really not a fan of track changes. If I had the commentary open, see, I don't know if I'm even using track changes right. You can like open the commentary, so like along the side are all the changes, and it says like the page number and the changes, and you can have that open while you're in the doc. But if you make any changes to the doc, it lags 30 seconds for each space and letter you type, and I didn't know that I could not have that open for like the first 2 days of editing and track changes, and I wanted to murder things. I was like, oh my god, every time I hit a button, it takes 30 seconds for anything to happen. I'm never gonna finish. Track changes sucks. And then I realized I could close that. And then if you hover over like one of those red arrows where my editor made an edit, it'll say like what the edit was. Or you could just like pop open the side, see what the comment was if there's a comment, and then pop it closed. So I started doing that, but I still hate it. Did I say I hated it, or did I say I wasn't a fan? Because to be more specific, I hate it. It was fine when I was going through the first time, but when I scrolled back up and like went to read over the stuff again, I was like, oh, the colors! There's so many distractions! But they were there, they were just there. I know this is helpful because last night at 4 a.m. when I was like, I'm not gonna get through this whole book a second time around before I have to hand it in, I could skip down and look for the yellow parts and be like, let me read over all the new parts again. And there they are, yellow. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. But when I was writing like a big new chunk of like a page of writing, okay, it was like all being yellow, and a bubble just kept popping up being like, do you accept these changes? Do you accept these changes from the author? And I'm like, I am the author. What are you saying? Stop. What are you doing? Every second I'd have to stop and be like, get out of my way. I can't see what I'm writing. I think like in one of the sections where that happened, I ended up accepting the changes so it wasn't yellow anymore. I'm like, why am I even allowed to do this? I thought you had to be an editor to accept the author's changes, okay? What are you do? Stop it. So that was fun. A lot of this draft was wrestling with track changes for me. It's fine. You're helpful. You're helpful for my editor, and you're helpful for me when I'm looking back. On Monday, I was not finished with the draft, and I went back to the first chapter again. I think I'm like pretty happy with it now, but I did spend another 2 hours up there. And I was like having a panic attack. I couldn't get a couple paragraphs in there right for so long. I couldn't figure it out. And I was going back and forth with a friend, like trying to figure it out, and I couldn't figure it out. I was having hot flashes and so much anxiety, and I couldn't move past it. And I was like, I'm never gonna finish this book. I'm never gonna finish this book. I know like hypothetically I could ask for a couple more days, but I couldn't. There's something in me that will not let me be late unless I know for sure, like, I need it, like if it's an emergency. But if it's not an emergency, I am gonna finish on time, and that's just the way it is. So I worked on that until I figured it out. And then I finally did after like 2.5 hours. Great use of your time, Christine. And I had to go back to where I was toward the end of the book, but I was not done. So I didn't finish my first pass going through entirely of this new edit until yesterday afternoon at like 2:30 p.m. yesterday, and I needed to hand it in by this morning. So I was not looking good to be able to read through the entire book again. And that's what I like to do. Whenever I have a new draft, I finish it and then I read the entire book again. You look at it with a completely different eye when you do that. It's so much more fun to read it the second time, because the first time you're looking to be like, how can I incorporate this note? What do I have to change? What do I have to tweak? And then the second time around, you're thinking it's more of an editor-reader, and it's way more fun. You're enjoying the story and like feeling the flow because you're going faster, and you can see when there are sentences you can delete better. It's just like so much easier. And you can see when there's like, oh, this word came up a couple times, I want to change it. So I started the reread at like 4 yesterday, and I got to page like 267, that is the page I got to, at like 3:30 in the morning, and I was like, I'm not gonna finish this. I'm not gonna finish this entire reread and still be alive tomorrow. So I started scrolling through for the yellow parts. The new sections come up yellow. Did I explain that? The new sections that I added in this draft come up yellow, so then I would like read the whole section that has yellow parts and make sure that worked, and it worked out. And I changed the end again. Oh my god. You know how last time I was like, it needs one more sentence, and I added the sentence. I did add the sentence at 4 a.m., so I hope, it was like the last thing I did. I was like, oh, I thought of the sentence! Hopefully it works. I can still tweak that. Like, that's something I could tweak. I'm running right now on sugar. I got soy milk in my latte today, and like the soy milk is flavored vanilla, so this tastes even better because I also get it sweetened. So it was so sugary, it was just like, and now I'm just like, too. I needed it for this, to talk to you, because I was just like, oh, I don't know, tired. I don't really know what comes next. I have to send a follow-up with my editor, because I'm just confused about how the whole process of blurbs works. I don't know what edits come up next. I really gotta ask some cues now. In the next 48 hours, I'm gonna be putting together an email with like 100 cues. Things are happening, and like the control is kind of out of my hands until it's in my hands again. I'm just hoping for the best, you know? What else happened in this draft? Oh my god. So I'm reading like halfway through it, and I see staring. I realized that this staring is spelled with like S-T-A-R-R-I-N-G, and I'm like, isn't that starring? She was staring at the ground? Starring? And then I go through my book, and literally every staring is starring. 9 drafts, people! My editor didn't catch it, I didn't catch it, nobody caught it. Every staring was starring. Okay, my book was about to say, he's starring at her. Starring at each other. I just couldn't believe this happened. But staring is spelled with 1 R. I googled it, and it is. I am calm. No, I'm not. I had so many panics the last couple days. Last night at like 3 a.m., I have the music going, and I'm like trying to read my book, and I'm sideways on the bed, and I'm murmuring to myself so that I like keep reading, and I have the music on so I don't fall asleep, and it was just, I could feel myself going, you know, I could feel this headache just forming, and that was the moment I knew. I listened to Moment I Knew like 1,000 times yesterday. Was it yesterday or was it the day before? The last 48 hours have blended together. Oh my god, there's a spider on the ceiling! There's a spider! There's a spider! I killed a spider yesterday in that same spot, and I just got the lights so perfect on my tiara. I'm gonna have to get up and kill that. Blurg. Anyway, what was I talking about? I realized Florence and the Machine had a new album that I didn't even know about. Thanks, Spotify. My favorite is End of Love, and so I listened to that 100,000 times while I was writing this draft. This draft, at least the last 48 hours of it, was The End of Love in Dodie's Party Tattoos. Let me share a song with you from my writing playlist. Take a look at the Oh my god, I was listening to Defying Gravity while I was writing. Also yesterday, I was just bawling. It was a combination of like the part I was reading and the song, and I was just like...
Why couldn't you stay calm for once, instead of flying off the handle. I hope you're happy. I hope you're happy now.
It's also probably because I was very stressed out. It was like the perfect storm of emotional to have all the Defying Gravity feels.
Unlimited. Together we're unlimited. Together we'll be the greatest team there's ever been. When our dreams the way we...
I am so excited to share Again But Better with you, and at the same time I'm so nervous. I just like, there's so much book, there's so many words. It's like you can never have it perfect. I don't understand how you can ever feel that it's perfect because there's so many words, and every time you add new words, you're like, oh my god, how do I get these words perfect? Oh my god, I also wrote a letter to the reader, a dear reader in the beginning. And I wrote it last night at like 6 at night. So I was still there.
And nobody in all of us, no wizard that there is or was, is ever gonna
Oh my god, the most amazing song to ever come out of Broadway. My name's Christine. I hope all your writing projects are going well. I'm on Twitter and Instagram at XteenMay. If you could follow me there, that'd be really nice. And I make videos every Tuesday. Thank you for watching. I'll see you next time. Goodbye! Oh my god, and my banana fell. My banana fell during the song.
Thank you.